The Damascus sun beats mercilessly against my skin as I stumble through the crowded marketplace, clutching my sister's worn photograph. Fatima's smile haunts me from the creased paper, the last image taken before she vanished 3 weeks ago. The local police dismissed her disappearance as another casualty of the ongoing conflict, but I know better. Fatima would never abandon her medical studies, never leave without saying goodbye. My name is Aster Al-Rashid, and I was once naive enough to believe in justice. Now I know there are darker truths hiding in the shadows of this ancient city. The marketplace parts before a group of military officials, their polished boots clicking against centuries-old cobblestones. I shrink into an alleyway, watching their cruel faces as they pass. One of them catches my eye, Captain Hassan, known for his interrogation techniques that leave prisoners begging for death. He smirks, probably assuming I'm just another frightened civilian. He doesn't realize I've been watching him for days, tracking his movements, studying his patterns. Your sister's disappearance is not random. The voice behind me is soft, but carries an edge sharp enough to cut. I spin around, finding myself face to face with a man whose features seem to shift in the shadows. He introduces himself as Marcus, extends a hand bearing a ring with an unfamiliar symbol. We can help you find her, Aster, but first, you must help us. The ancient underground chamber where they take me smells of age and secrets. Dozens of hooded figures line the walls, their faces obscured but their attention palpable. They call themselves the Creed, assassins who have shaped history from the shadows for centuries. They offer me a deal that sounds simple. Join them, learn their ways, and they'll help me find Fatima. I should have known better. Nothing that requires blood payment is ever simple. The training breaks me down and rebuilds me into something else entirely. Marcus teaches me to move like a ghost, to strike like a viper. My first kill is Captain Hassan. I follow him home one night, slip into his apartment like a shadow. His eyes widen in recognition just before my blade slides between his ribs. The wet gurgle of his last breath should horrify me, but instead I feel nothing. Just the cold satisfaction of completing a mission. Good, Marcus says when I return, blood still warm on my hands. The compassion that makes us human is also what makes us weak. To serve the Creed, you must transcend humanity. More targets follow. Each kill is justified. Corrupt officials, human traffickers, those who profit from others' suffering. I tell myself I'm making the world better, serving a greater purpose. But each death leaves a stain on my soul that spreads like ink in water. The faces begin appearing in mirrors, in windows, in still water. Their final expressions, frozen in shock, terror, pleading, follow me into my dreams. I wake up tasting copper, my sheets soaked with sweat. But I can't stop. Fatima is still out there, and with each assassination, the Creed promises they're getting closer to finding her. Marcus becomes my anchor in this sea of blood. He guides me through increasingly complex missions, his praise becoming the only validation I crave. You're special, Aster, he tells me after I eliminate an entire human trafficking ring in one night. Your compassion made you perfect for this. It had to be burned away slowly, deliberately, to forge you into something stronger. The night I finally find Fatima changes everything. The military compound is heavily guarded, but I move through it like a drought through summer leaves. I find her in an underground cell, but she's not bound or frightened. She sits at a desk, reviewing files, wearing the ring of the Creed. "Welcome, sister," she says, and her smile is the same one from the photograph, but her eyes are empty. "I've been waiting for you to join us properly." The truth crashes over me like a wave of ice. The Creed orchestrated everything. Fatima's disappearance, my desperate search, every kill that stripped away another piece of my humanity. They chose me because I had the perfect psychological profile, strong enough to become a killer, compassionate enough that destroying that compassion would break me completely. I confront Marcus in the temple beneath Damascus, where it all began. Ancient stones witness our battle, not just of blades, but of truths. "You needed to be broken," he explains between strikes, his blade whistling past my ear. "Only then could you be rebuilt into something perfect." Our fight is savage, primal. His blade opens my shoulder, my knife finds his thigh. Blood patterns the stone floor like abstract art. When I finally drive my blade through his throat, his eyes show no surprise, only satisfaction. His last words bubble through the blood. "Now, you're ready." I stand in front of new recruits now, their eyes still bright with idealism or desperation. I see my former self in them, believing they can use the darkness without being consumed by it. I train them as I was trained, breaking them piece by piece, teaching them to embrace the void where their humanity used to be. The face in my mirror hasn't shown my own reflection in years. Instead, I see the monster I've become, wearing a mask of efficiency and purpose. The Creed is my home now, my purpose, my prison. I can't leave, not because they would hunt me, but because I no longer know how to be anything else. Sometimes, in the deepest part of night, I take out Fatima's photograph. The edges are worn smooth now, the image faded. We're both still here in Damascus, both still serving the Creed, but the sisters in that photograph died long ago. They were killed by the thing we became, the perfect weapon, forged in suffering and tempered in blood. I am Aster Al-Rashid, and this is my price of faith. A soul traded for skill, humanity exchanged for purpose. In the end, I found what I was looking for, but I lost myself in the process. And perhaps that was the plan all along.